Welcome back to another episode of Swans Cast podcast. Been a couple of weeks since the last one. Like we do always try and say we do a weekly, but sometimes life gets in the way. I've been a little bit ill, so it wasn't sounding the best for an audio recording. But it's all good because, to be honest, there's not been an abundance of new stuff to talk about. It's kind of the same theme as the last couple in that Swans are not really going in the right direction at the moment, and it's pretty negative, isn't it? So we don't want to be too negative all the time, so we'll talk about what we can. Today we're going to talk about a couple of results which aren't the best. Draw against Rotherham, lost to Luton. We'll probably talk a little bit more detail about this weekend's result, which is the 3-1 loss at home to Middlesbrough. Look a little bit at the form and ask a couple of questions. So the defence, just still making a lot of silly mistakes. The goalkeeper, however you want to consider it together. Liam Cullen, I think, is worth asking a question about him because he seems to have a good goal scoring record since he's come back into the team, but he can't seem to get on the starting sheet at the moment. Not really sure the reason there, so we'll discuss that. Big question, maybe you could say the elephant in the room. Can we actually go down? And we want to finish it off by looking at a couple of players that are out of contract in the summer, not Swans players from across the Championship who are out of contract. We want to have a scout. And I know it's very unlikely that we'll pick players that will end up signing for the Swans, but we're going to have a look what names are on that list and see who we would like to fit into the team, who can perhaps fit into some of the holes and fix some of the problems that have been a couple of years in the making at this point and really need addressing. Seems to be a lot of free talent out there, so I don't see why we don't try and exploit as much as we can, especially with the financial situation we're in.
It's going to be our biggest summer as well, isn't it, I think?
Well, we need a bit of a turnaround and rebuild, don't we? So,
yeah.
Indeed. So I thought it was quite funny, though, to mention a comment we had on one of our last videos. I know you get a mixed bag here with podcasts. You get the people who are like, they like the more personal touch where we have a little bit of a catch up. We have a little bit of a chat of stuff that's not necessarily football. We just get to perhaps know us a little bit more as the people you're listening to speaking. And people appreciate like a little bit of 5 minutes of talking about other stuff, like get to know you sort of thing. But then you have other people who don't. So I got told that it's tedious drivel at the start, better to go straight in. I clocked out after 3 minutes. So apologies for that. But the reasons are because we're trying to make it a little bit more personal rather than just like, it is a football podcast at the end of the day. We're talking about the Swans. Everyone knows that I was tuning in, but we'd like to have a little bit of a catch up beforehand as well. And I think we've had people in the past who appreciate that. So we'll try and get a balance better going forward, I guess, is the way to go.
It's happening more as the Swan seems to be getting worse.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll start talking, Wales won, that's positive, isn't it? Let's talk about the rugby instead.
I'm not sure I was completely
We're not getting the wooden spoon.
Wow, yeah.
It is only if you lose all the games, isn't it? The wooden spoon, or is it who comes last?
Well, I think I kind of say now, like, if you lose all the games, it's the wooden spoon. But I think you do kind of win the wooden spoon. You finish bottom, don't
you? Maybe. But yeah, so Wales, I mean, it didn't look that convincing when I came in the last 10, 15 minutes. They were trying to lose the game, it looked like, but I didn't manage to work.
They played well in patches, but bloody hell. I think Italy left some tries out there.
Yeah, there was one. They literally ran like the length of the field and got stopped just short, or he knocked it on or something on the line in the end.
Yeah, but I think they did about 5 or 6 offloads in that move, and then literally the guy I can't remember who it was. We literally just had to do one more.
Yeah,
with one more and he was over.
Yeah, he just had to pass the ball, didn't he? And he went down.
There was one more offload. Yeah. And I think that would have been about 15-10 then if they scored that at the time. So different game.
Yeah, mad. But got over the line.
Hey, wins a win.
And sorry if any of you Swans fans are out there supporting England in the Six Nations, but I did take a little bit of joy from their result yesterday.
Oh, France were absolutely outstanding. Oh my God.
Biggest home defeat for England at Twickenham ever.
So good to watch. Yeah. Brilliant.
50 points. What was it? 50 what?
53-10 it was, wasn't it?
Can you imagine putting 53 points on England at Twickenham?
I absolutely love to see that. But then
I wouldn't laugh too. Was it?
Yeah, I wouldn't laugh too hard though, because we play France away next week.
Look, we know it. Look, they can go and batter us. We are shit at the moment. I'm out here saying it. But we are going to be away, so at least we got that.
Yeah, true.
it's not.
They might need points to win the championship though, so it could be an absolute bloodbath.
Or maybe we stop them.
Yeah, like they did to
Probably
us.
not. Yeah, revenge.
It'll be revenge. I fancy it.
Other than that, been up to much since the last podcast.
No, it's all quiet. It's all quiet for me at the moment.
All quiet.
Not much.
But we do have
wedding planning.
Yeah, next year.
Trying the wedding plan for next year. Yeah, that's fun. Looking at the prices.
Expensive.
Yeah,
you're going to be crying into your wallet.
Yeah, exciting times.
Good holiday though. I'm looking forward to the holiday.
Yeah, be nice to get away, wouldn't it? All of us.
But we do have some good news. We did actually break 500 subscribers on YouTube in the last week or two. So thank you very much for the continued support. And we did say that when we do break that mark, we will do a giveaway. So we were thinking of a Swans kit. Now, maybe we'll do a vote, because I don't know what the size range is going to be like right now. If we did a giveaway and someone was like, I want a medium, they might not have any. So we'll do a vote whether we do it now or maybe we do it at the start of the next season when the new kit's out. Might be a better time.
Yeah, I think
because people might
be better.
Not have it, and they might have this one already because it's probably already on sale, isn't it? Probably like 75% off the way things are going at the moment. But we'll do a vote on Twitter and I'll see what people are saying, and we'll sort something out anyway, because I did say we'd do them when we get to 500. So thank you very much and really appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, our next target will be 1,000, which will really help push and start opening things up for the channel for us to keep progressing. If you have got a YouTube account or a Google account, you can link them together. Click the big red button underneath Lee and subscribe. And that way you can keep up to date when we do release anything. Mainly, we've been doing the podcast lately, but we will get back to doing some more other stuff like the match previews and stuff as well going forward. And we'll have some other ideas for the summer. So you can see all of our stuff. And of course, all of our podcasts also go to Spotify. So if you don't want to watch the video, don't want to watch on YouTube, you can just listen to us in the car or, I don't know, while you're cooking in the kitchen or in the shower if you want, maybe. Where'd you listen to podcasts? In the gym? But yeah, you can get us on Spotify as well. I don't know if you want to listen to how bad the Swans are doing in the gym, or maybe you'll end up... Maybe you'll be taking the frustration out in the right place. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, we'll actually get stuck into some of the football now. So we'll talk briefly about the form and like a little bit more perhaps about Middlesbrough. But no wins to talk about still. The form is bleak. So we went from the Cardiff game. You probably heard a couple of different iterations of the Swans form, depending how you want to look at it and what sort of spin you want to put on it. But we've gone from what we think was our best part of the season, which ended in beating Cardiff at home. That was our best period of form. So the Cardiff win, there's been 4 wins in 21 league games and 4 wins in 23 games if you include the 2 Bristol City Cup games. That's poor form, really, on the face of it, isn't it?
That's horrendous. I mean,
relegation form all over that.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is relegation form. I think we're only. I think I said yesterday. I think we're only where we are because, thank God, we've managed to get. We seem to have been on like 40, 43 points for ages.
Well, we were on 40 odd points when we were challenging from the playoffs, and now we're like, what's that? 14 points away from the playoffs. A couple of weeks ago, we're only 3 points off still. We haven't fallen out with the fight, even though we've been on a bad run. 14 points now.
Yeah, well,
that is bad though. From relegation. It's crazy.
I know, but the way but it's just the way that the championship season is going. I think it's that poor that that we're still where we are, because I think I said yesterday that the bottom 3 currently, Wigan, Blackpool, and Huddersfield, they are so bad that I think we'll be okay. They are so poor because I think all 3 of them have only won 1 game in the new year. Like Wigan, Blackpool, and Huddersfield, they've all won 1 game since the new year.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason.
Cost me in last man standing.
Yeah, but that's the only reason that we are not like proper sucked into a relegation fight, is because they are not picking up points. Because our form, we should be further down. Because winning that many games is awful.
But having said that, like we've already got more points than all the teams that went down last season.
I know, but it's like
and
each season is different,
before,
isn't it?
And the season before. Well, 43 Wickham on 43, so we would have been one more draw and we're ahead of that. You know what I mean? So it's not like the season before was a little bit better, actually. 48 and 47, or actually, and Hull 45. So if you go back 2 years, when we finished 6th in the playoffs, I think it was Steve Cooper's first year in 1920. All 3 teams in relegation had more points than what we currently have. Go back 18, 19. No, I mean, out of the last 5 years then, only one time the points tally we currently got wouldn't have been enough. So on average, it's not that far out of where the bottom 3 normally is. Like, usually a couple of teams seem to fall away, but it doesn't make any excuses for like our form. It's still
it's horrific.
We just obviously did a decent
God.
enough job in the first half of the season to be kind of safe. And we're not safe.
Thank God
we aren't
got
safe
enough.
mathematically, but
no,
90% sure that we won't go down. We're going to talk more about that later. No, we'll just talk about it now. We're already talking about it. Bring it forward.
Yeah, I think we'll be. I think like we probably will be okay. Thank God we picked up points earlier in the season, because I'll be seriously worried now with the way that we're playing. I can't see us. We probably will, but I can't see us winning another game with the way they're playing.
They need a win to click out of this rut, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They desperately need a win. Yeah, but they won against Blackpool, didn't they? But like only just. And I
win
think
not because of a red card.
Yeah, and Blackpool probably deserved at least a point in that game, if not more. And we got over the line, and he thought we were going to maybe pick up from there. We got a win over the board, but it's just like the performance is not changing at all, which is the worrying thing for me, because some teams go through a run of bad form, and then you think, but we're not playing that bad. I mean, like earlier on in the season when we were conceding like late goals and stuff, like I remember like Sheffield United down here, they scored late, and we were gutted. We were thinking, yeah, but they played so well, they didn't deserve to lose the game. We can't even say that anymore. The performances are so bad. I just can't see how we're going to get out of it, because
seems like players, didn't it? Like the first half of the season, they really didn't play that bad. When you think about
they didn't. They didn't. They did play well at the beginning of the season.
Forget how like it's so different now.
But this is the
same team, but it's just
this is the worrying thing for me, because it seems like the players now have like switched off to me. Like the performance yesterday, I will come in a bit more detail in the Middlesbrough game, but in all of the recent games, they just seem to give up in a way, because they seem like if we go 1-0 down, or if a team equalises or something, we just completely out of the game then, just out of it. In general, I think they played better against Luton away. They sort of come back into the game a bit. They had a chance, but just in general terms, just performances are awful. Players seem to down tool, especially the back. And in terms of us trying to score goals, it's just not happening anymore. Where we used to be scoring a lot of goals, we're not.
Yeah, even Joe Burrow's goal yesterday was a bit like opportunistic.
Yeah, it was a good finish, to be fair, but that was
it was a good finish, but I
know what you mean.
It's not from creating all them chances, and it's a good goal. Do you know what I mean? Like Manning's had a shot, taken deflection, and he's poached a good goal by sticking his leg out and sort of nipping it in. Which is what you want his strikers doing. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, yeah,
I know what you mean. I worried a bit, because I looked at like Huddersfield. They brought in Neil Warnock, didn't they? And Mick McCarthy came into Blackpool, and I thought they'll start picking up points. So we need to start picking, but they haven't. But that's you think if Blackpool and I think we're gonna go. I think the bottom 3 will go as they are now, but I just can't see Wigan even putting up a fight. But if Blackpool and Huddersfield have picked up some points, then we'll be really in a bad position now, really bad position, because I think that team, the squad and the management would not be up for the fight of a relegation.
It's funny you talk about Wigan like that when we couldn't beat them at home. They went 2-0 up, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. But there's no fight in that team now, I think, and just the way they could see it yesterday, as soon as they equalised the game, you knew the way the game was going. You could see it in the players, the body language and everything. There's just a sense of giving up. It's inevitable that we're going to lose these games now, which is really, really worrying. But I don't think we will go down, but there's still a chance that we could, because I was looking at it and I think like there's 11 points between us and the relegation zone. And I think there's 10 games left. So there's 30 points to play for. Plus, we've got to play 3 of the bottom 4. We've got to play Cardiff away. We've got to play Wigan away. And we've got to play Huddersfield at home. So they are literally, those 4 games, or 3 games, sorry, those 3 games are relegation 6-pointers now. That's the position that we're in.
Yeah. But
And
you also
that
got
is
to
the
remember,
position we're in.
you have got Rotherham, QPR, and Birmingham still below us that are also not.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
still traffic.
Rotherham and Cardiff are perhaps picking up a bit, but Birmingham and QPR, we're talking about us and our bad form.
Oh yeah,
QPR have had an
nosedived.
even worse free fall than we have had because they were ahead of us in the playoffs, and they have literally. It's quite bad, isn't it? I mean, it's bad for us, but they're only 3 goals behind us in conceding as well. So they might overtake us with that.
Yeah, exactly. They sacked their manager though, didn't they?
Yeah.
They free fell like that, and they sacked their manager, and Gareth Ainsworth gone in there now, and they won on the weekend against Watford as well.
Yeah,
good win.
Watford have been a bit rubbish lately, and they sacked their manager as well.
There's a joke. That is Watford though. That's an absolute joke. I've read somewhere the other day they've had more managers in the last 3 or 4 years or something than West Ham have had in their entire history. That's a mental stat, that is.
What, 3 or 4 years? No way, 3 or 4.
I'll find out exactly what it was now because I saw it the other day.
I think it was 13 or 14, wasn't it? I think I saw something come up. 13
or
or 14
maybe.
years since the guys
that would make
over,
more sense.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But still, that's a mental stat.
Have West Ham had a couple of long-term managers?
I think they tend to have long-term managers, don't they?
There was a couple in and out before Moyes has been there a while. Even Moyes has done 2 stints, hasn't he? But he's been there a while now.
Yeah. But I thought that was a mental stat. But yeah, it's frightening. It's frightening. I think especially Cardiff away. It's going to become a huge game.
Picked up as well, haven't they? It's a bit worried about that.
I fully
do a win.
But going back to the relegation question, I fully expect us to finish the way that we're going. Hopefully they pick up a bit of form, but the way that they're going, we're going to finish in the bottom 5. Because I can see QPR going above us because of the way that they're playing. Rotherham maybe, and if we just keep losing games. Yeah, but 1 win is massive in this league, and we just can't even get that.
But I just mean the way they're playing. There was only 1 win. They've had 10 million losses in a row before that.
Yeah, so I know, but
exaggerating.
But they'll have a bit of a new manager bounce, won't they? Which they did on the weekend. They won.
Yeah.
But it's a bit worrying for me.
I know you touched on the performance against Middlesbrough yesterday. I've seen a lot of people, and they're saying on the radio, especially the first half, the performance did seem a lot better again. But you're saying that it did seem the down tools and the body language was poor.
Yeah, I think the first half they played well and they went 1-0 up, and they seemed like Middlesbrough looked good. Mind, I got to say that as well. Middlesbrough looked like a team.
They're gonna beat Sheffield United.
I think they might sneak into that second, and they looked really good yesterday. So I thought when we went 1-0 up, and it was a bit of fortune, and I thought we were playing well. I thought we were matching them. I think they've only lost 3 games in basically the reverse form of us. Middlesbrough, they're on fire with since Carrick has gone in there. So I thought it was quite positive. We played well. And then Fulton had that goal disallowed for 2-0, didn't they, which would have changed the games. And I think that was
offside?
Tight. I think it was tight. I think it was probably just offside.
In the highlights, because it's in the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I think it was probably just offside. I think if I had to put my neck out, but it was tight anyway. But if that goes in and we go 2-0 up, it's a different game. But then when that equaliser went in and it was 1-1, it was game over.
That equaliser, it reminds me of playing FIFA. He tries to play a ball, doesn't he? And he plays a 1-2 off Soronola's leg by accident, and it just falls to him.
Yeah,
I think we should have defended it better, though. I don't think we are completely not to blame, but he had an element of luck to get that opportunity.
It was lucky, but it came from our own corner, didn't it?
Yeah, and they were trying to play offside and quite slow to.
They were in their own half. We should never have conceded from our own corner like that, and then got just completely.
That's the second time in 3 games, because we conceded from our own corner against someone at home the other day.
Stoke, was it?
Yeah, maybe Stoke. The third goal. Yeah, it was Stoke. The third
Yeah.
goal. It's
Yeah,
not like the first time it's happened recently.
that was that. Yeah,
You
but that
can
was
understand
daft.
that more because you're pushing up to like.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to
But
say you
like,
pushed
it's
up.
still a thing, isn't it? It's still on the counter from a corner. But we said it since day one with Russell Martin. Most of our opportunities conceded come from the transition between losing the ball in attack to go to defence. And he just has never got that right.
No, he hasn't. He spoke again after the game about, oh, we need to manage games better and stuff. We know this. Like, 1-0 up. Why are you getting caught out like that 1-0 up against Middlesbrough, third in the league? Absolutely flat. Why are you getting caught out like that?
One of the quickest front lines in the league as well.
Should never be caught out like that 1-0 up. You should be a bit safer there. Bloody hell. I don't know. But then my issue, like, really, really worried me yesterday was that as soon as that goal went in, you just knew. You knew what was coming. There was no like let's get back into this game. You could see the players were down. Talk about Latibodier's tackle for the penalty. It's just signs of just like
we'll talk about that in a sec because he's. Did Ollie Cooper go off injured? Like, how long is he going to be out for?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Because that's why Cham come on, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you want to talk about him for the second goal as well?
He went off right at the start of the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, half time.
It was half time.
Yeah, they made the change half time.
Sorry, it's just 46 minutes on you. Apparently he's injured. Man was releasing an update today, but didn't manage to read it before he came on. Hopefully he's not out for a while because there's a bit of trouble. And I mean, Patterson coming back in, that's a conversation we should have actually in a bit. But Cham for that second goal, trying to play offside in the box, just leaves him head of the ball in. He just watches him head of the ball in the goal.
It's
what the hell is he doing? Like, I don't understand. How can you watch that cross come in when you've been marking him? He's followed him around the box like for quite a while, and then he thinks he's offside, so he just stands there and watches him head the ball in.
It's so poor. That's what you can see. I watched the highlights back, and you can like Trundle was in commentary, and he's livid. You can just see he's just like, what is he doing?
Can you see my green screen? But you can see like a little teddy bear on the floor. It's like my son's Bing coming through.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
it's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. Yeah. It's a bit freaky.
Anyway, yeah, Trundle's going nuts at
yeah,
and the other one, the Latibodier one. Like, I don't know what Cham's doing for that. That's poor. But again, set pieces, or like, it was a set piece, wasn't it? It was an extended corner routine, I think.
Yeah.
Or either way, it was like something, and they were down all in the box for whatever reason it was. And then the penalty. Why is he even on the left anyway? On the left of the back three, he plays on the right. Yeah, he plays right back all the time. You think he put him on the right of the back three?
I don't know. Fucking no excuse for that tackle either.
But like, it goes in from behind to just like scissors him down. I don't understand. What's he trying to do?
Yeah, it was awful.
Why do you even consider that tackle in the box?
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. I think that's the worrying thing, is that it's just seems pure, just like, screw it. Like, that just seems to be the attitude at the moment. And Cham just like, I think he's offside. Latibodier is just like, yeah, okay, I'll just dive in here, see what happens.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. But I saw him get absolutely slayed.
Really?
I mean, he's out of contract in the summer, and I felt sorry for the guy a little bit, playing out of position a lot, but like, I don't know if he is good enough,
I don't think he is.
He's like a consistent, okay performer. But if you build a strong championship team, he's never going to be a starter.
No, I haven't seen anything
and he
that
hasn't
suggests
been
he can
before
start.
Martin, and he wasn't at the start of Martin's regime. He only now starts a lot because he works hard, and Martin's managed to mould him into a right back because we don't have anyone. And he likes him because he works hard and applies himself well. And fair play, that's good and a good attitude to have. But that's probably not going to make you progress up the league.
No, it's not. He's good. He's good as cover. He's a good sort of utility player to have on the bench. And that's as far as I see him being, to be honest. And I think, but again, like going back to Russell Martin, I think his loyalty in him is his downfall, because why he continued to play him a right back for so long and mould him into a right back and play him all the time now, like playing him left centre back, like putting him in everywhere. I I think it's his downfall because he's not good enough.
I saw people saying about. There's a lot of people on Twitter asking why Norton's not getting a look in, which is funny because when he's being poor, they all want him out of the team. Now we haven't been in the team for like 3 months. They're like, oh, why is Norton not getting a look in? I agree, though. I like the reason he was brought in the first place under Martin, where he became like the stable centre of the three, was for his experience and ball playing capabilities.
Yeah.
And I understand why he wanted to phase him out to try and get the youngsters in, but then it hasn't worked. Our defence is probably the worst it's been since we've been in the Championship after we got relegated. And you haven't brought him back. And this week, he's not even on the bench, which I thought was interesting. Obviously, Darling's there as the one defender they've decided to take. So basically, Patterson's come back into the fold, and Norton's been the one that's dropped off the bench, essentially. He's not. It doesn't look like he's signing a new contract in the summer. I do believe it's not a case of him not like Latibody or Manning having wanted to sign and they've been offered one. He hasn't been offered, but it's different than he's older. He's like 34, probably near the end of his career. I'm not sure if he'll retire or not, but it's not the same as those two who are like saying no to the deals. So obviously, perhaps it's like the club knows he's going and Martin's just like not using him because can't future plan with him. I don't know. I saw people saying does it suit his agenda to say, well, I got the youngest team. I got young defense. They making mistakes because they're young. I don't know if he'd pick a team to preempt an excuse, to be honest. But I would like if you're in this dire situation where you got 4 wins in 21 games, you got the worst defense in the league at the moment. Why would you not try him? You made enough changes and you've rotated him enough times. Why has he not come? He's played 1 or 2 games where he started right back, I think, when Sorinola was apparently out of flavour. But and Latibody got injured, didn't he? But I don't know why he hasn't come back in. Like he had a couple of games, didn't he, before the World Cup where he made a couple of mistakes. But we were saying he's probably because he's playing in like midweek weekend, and he haven't got the legs anymore.
Yeah,
just not managing it properly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think like you got to do anything now to stop this rot, haven't you?
Yeah.
Whether it's bringing Kyle Norton back in to play with some of the younger players, so he says, at the back, and put him right back just for experience, just to stop conceding so many goals.
Thinking about
he's been there and done it. Put him in right back. Maybe play a little bit deeper, or he hasn't got the legs to run up and down, or like you said, even if you play him in the middle.
It's not that bad though. He's not like
I know he's not like
Ryan Bennett,
ridiculous.
though, is he?
No. But I was just saying, why wouldn't you put him in there to just make sure just stop conceding goals? Like that's still something that's not been addressed. Like you don't see any changes in the way that we defend week in, week out, and I think that's just poor. The way we concede goals as well.
He did it earlier in the season when he brought Bender in and he started like stopping playing the ball short from goal kicks. Why didn't he do that again? I don't know. It worked then. All it did was give them a bit more confidence that they weren't immediately going to be under a pressure situation where they've got to panic and try and keep the ball. And that seems to then, everything comes from that. And that's probably why they're always like down and panicked and not calm, making mistakes then because they're overthinking. I think it's all linked a little bit. So you need to ease the pressure for a couple of games off the back line. I don't know. We haven't got the players up top either to keep the ball, though, from a long ball. So, but yeah, with the Norton thing, it's quite similar. I know Bennett got absolutely hounded after a couple of games last year because it was a little bit different because everyone was like, oh, Russell Martin wants to play passing football. Ryan Bennett can't play passing football. Oh, look at him. He's making mistakes. Oh, look at that stupid penalty he's given away because he's this, that, the other. I'd imagine if he was here now, they wouldn't be saying so because Martin isn't as popular overall. People wouldn't perhaps be hounding Bennett so much, maybe. But the Norton situation, it's quite similar, isn't it? All of a sudden, he's disappeared from the team. And we know he's out of contract in the summer. Although Bennett wasn't even out of contract last summer, was he? He had another year.
Yeah.
I think he's gone now, isn't he? But
yeah. What about Manning as well? He's out of contract, he's playing every week.
Yeah,
I think it's probably only because we haven't got any other option.
Yeah, and the age, perhaps. But then, like I said, the difference between Norton and Manning, Norton hasn't been offered a deal. Manning has.
Yeah.
and Manning didn't want a pay cut, which I understand, I guess. But that's the difference there, isn't it? So maybe Norton have got annoyed, and he's like, "Why? Look, you're not even playing well. How can you justify not playing me?"
Yeah.
I'm one of the most experienced players here, if not the most experienced player in the team, and I can't get on the pitch, even though we can't win a game to save our lives. And we can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
it's just
weird.
Baffling.
Weird one.
But this is the worrying thing though, because nothing changes. Like when we were talking before the podcast, we were like, you know, what can you continue to say? It's this literally nothing changes. They don't play better. They don't play different. They're not doing anything different, and that's the worrying thing because it's just the same thing every week. We try and keep the ball. We pass for passing's sake. Maybe Perot gets on the end of a chance and scores. Other than that, we get caught out on the break when we lose the ball, and nothing changes week in, week out.
Yeah,
He doesn't try anybody different.
Like our goals recently, how many of them are like good team goals? Because that's the way we're trying to play, really.
Yeah,
there is one or two, but most of them, like even Cullen's goals, you know, the ones that he scored recently, like a few of them were like it hit the post and then he's tapped it in. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't matter how it goes in the back of the net. What I'm saying is Martin's game plan is built on passing football through the opposition to get these good team goals. Essentially, he doesn't want people shooting from all these places, you know. And I know a lot of people will disagree with that and say just you should take more shots. And yeah, I think that is correct. But Martin's game plan isn't that. And I'm just curious, how many of our goals in the last, in this run of form we're talking about, actually fit the criteria of the goals we're trying to score?
Yeah.
Like the one that Perot scored the other day doesn't. It was a good goal. It was a good poacher's finish. But that's not the sort of goal that Martin wants, is it? Like he wants passing football into Perot, he scored. Not like Ryan Manning takes a shot, it deflected, and he sticks his leg out and puts it in.
Yeah.
We're not going to complain about it, but we're trying to play this way of football to get this certain type of goal, isn't it? But it's just not to get this certain type of opportunity. Not like which is why you hear the fans like shouting shoot from outside the box because it don't happen that much.
Yeah.
But then when it does, you get these chances. So like it's just.
But then this is what I mean. But people are probably, I know it's stupid sometimes, people just saying shoot from everywhere sometimes, but I think it's just the crying out for them to just do something different.
Yeah. Like most of the time when they shout shoot, it's not a relevant time. Sometimes it is. A lot of the time it isn't. But the reason they're doing it is because the amount of times where there is an opportunity to shoot and it isn't taken.
Yeah.
And that is a lot. That is a lot of times. That's what I'm saying. I'm just curious, like this tick-a-tacker passing football, how many goals that we actually score are that type of goal? I don't think it's that many.
No, it's not. We think about when we used to, though. Like on patches under Martin, we've scored some brilliant goals, and then
just recently it's not happening, you know, and
it's gone.
I get stick to your morals, but like,
yeah, but teams,
we need to
find you
in the
out,
summer,
don't they?
so like adjust while we're not there.
Teams find you out. Like obviously we've had good spells, and teams know how to play against us now, and nothing's changed. So it's just the same in week. Teams know exactly how to play against us. Like we are not footballing experts, but teams will come down, and you just know, sit in, wait for us to pass the ball around, have two fast front men, and play on the break because we'll make a mistake.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything to break good defences down, and then score from set pieces or on the break. Job done.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's frustrating at the moment. It's really demoralising at the moment. It is really hard at the moment because normally with a bad run of form, and you think, right, but I can, we're playing okay. A win is going to come, and I can't see where the win is going to come from. It's just such a bad feeling at the moment.
For the summer already, like I'm done.
Yeah, the season's over.
Just not bothered. But Alan Curtis was talking the other day when he's saying like he doesn't think. Basically, he was saying the owners feel responsible for letting Martin down, so I don't think they're going to sack him.
I don't think they should sack him. I think
No, I'm not saying they should, but a lot of people are ready.
No,
for
no.
that.
Yeah, I
but
know.
I just find it interesting because they are saying, "Oh, we feel like we've let him down," and they're just like, "Oh well, that's the reasons that we're playing like this." But and you could say it's taking accountability, but it's not the right form of accountability. What are you actually doing about it? Like, are you actually going to back him? Like, say something in it. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like, show action, not just well, we know we let him down. It's like it's just so bad at the moment. But so I can't imagine for those listening who are ready for Martin to be gone. I don't think it's coming personally, because you can't get this bad and then we are going to sack him now.
I think in any other club in the world, nobody would have got to this position with this many wins in that many games. I think they would have been gone.
I think there is, like, a lot of people saying there is the Martin in people who are saying, like, you can't blame him, is from above. I think both things are true. I think it is that, but also
it's a combination.
Martin can't use that as his get out of jail card all the time.
It's a combination of things. I totally agree with you there. Like I said, I don't think. Well, I can't say he shouldn't be sacked because the results warrants anyone getting sacked. I think that's fair to say.
On paper, he should be sacked.
Yeah,
there's
people
exactly. Who've lost their jobs for far less.
Exactly. But I think
Francesco Guidolin.
Yeah, the fact that I think the fact that they didn't back him in the January transfer window has saved him, and I think that, like, past results doing the double has maybe saved him as well.
I don't necessarily think we would be in this bad run of form if they had backed him, because I think you said it with the body language and lost in the dressing room. A lot of that's come from his response to not having the backing, where he
exactly
like he lost the plot. So that's
exactly.
Come onto the pitch.
But we touched on that, didn't we? After the transfer window, he's just been in a sulk and it's just transferred onto the pitch, and that's still my head. And the defensive problems have been there before the transfer window. So I don't know. It's a combination of both. The thing that bugs me though is people are saying, like, outright, like, blindly supporting, saying, "Oh, Russell Martin, you can't blame him at all. Like, he's got such a hard time." Like, no, he's culpable for some of these performances. It's absolutely horrific. Like, I know the owners are what the owners are. Fair enough. We know that they didn't back him in January. That's poor. But I still just can't get my head around, like, everyone just saying, like, no, nothing to do with Russell Martin at all. All the owner's fault. No bother. You know, I just don't see it, because sometimes I'm watching the game and I'm just thinking, it's just so bad to watch.
Yeah.
And people saying, like, "Oh, our squad is really poor." I don't think it is that poor. It's thin. Exactly. It's not poor, it's thin. We haven't got since all those loan players went back in January, we haven't got enough cover. We haven't got that. That's fair. We haven't got enough cover. We haven't got enough bodies. But I think our squad, I think most championship teams would kill to have Allen, Fulton and Grimes in the middle, and Perot. And Cooper being a young sort of player who's starting to come into his own. You've got Cabango as a Welsh international. People, has been very good in the past. Manning's arguably one of the best fullbacks in the league. So I don't think we should be playing as poor as we are.
Well, Rangers wanted Whittaker and we're not starting him half time. So
yeah, so I just think it's a combination of both. Not the owners with obviously what they did in January, and Russell Martin is just he's not performing well, and I think he's just not beyond criticism.
The squad, the first team squad is good, right? It's a thin squad. The problem is with a thin squad is when it gets stale. Even if it's a good squad, you can't change it. That's the problem. So that's the main problem around a thin squad. So, like, this team had a really good first half of the season. Now you want to maybe freshen it up. We haven't got the options to freshen it up. Like, you've got some people there. You've got Uncham on the bench. Like, but he's just, you can't trust him to start. So, like,
no,
it's tricky. So that's the issue he's having. He can't find a way to change what's out there right now. It's a good team. But no, I'm saying he needs to as well. Like, he has. That's what he's got to work with, isn't it?
I know he hasn't got great options. I know that he hasn't got great options. But then you look at like Cullen doesn't get on the pitch with 3-1 down.
Yeah, well, that's what my next point was.
And then
Cullen.
we've got like Congreve, who looked quite good at the beginning of the season. He had one bad game and he's been binned out. Like, can they bring him on? Like, even if we're like 2-1 down when you're chasing the goal because he is quite direct. Could you bring him on just to bring a bit of energy and colour?
Here's one. I would rather, right? So they've brought Jamie Patterson back into the fold now, and
I
he's
totally agree.
I would rather have Congreve have had that position on the bench and brought him on, try and develop him. He actually
Totally
probably wants
understand
to
that.
be here and play for the club and develop his game and do better. But you've got Patterson come. Why is he back on the bench now? Because you have to, because you haven't got anyone else. That's probably why. Are you paying him? And you've probably been told, like, oh, well, it means we'll use him because we're paying his wages still. Like, what is going on there? Can we have some clarity of, like, why was he not you for the last couple of months? Was it him, or was it we were trying to sell him? If we were trying to sell him and it was us, maybe we can get behind the fact he's coming back into the team.
Yeah.
If it was him kicking his toys out the pram again, or like trying to force a move away for the 2nd January in a row, why are you trying to bring him back into the team?
Yeah, because inevitably he's going to go anyway at some point.
He's not going to perform wonders if he's that desperate to leave. Bring Congreve on instead. Try and maybe he will have a moment of magic with a bit of raw talent, you know?
But this is what I mean. Like, you know, if you brought Whittaker back, great. Like, you know, we need to change. We need to try different things. Like, play Whittaker and Cullen up top and Perot behind them.
Or
try something different.
Why didn't they try Whittaker in the central attacking midfield role that he was asking to play in?
Yeah, but he doesn't do any of this.
He was excelling at Plymouth, and now he's crap again.
But this is where it comes down to Russell Martin there, because it's like we're losing all these games and nothing changes. There's nothing even that gets you talking anymore. The only thing that gets you talking now is obviously like you look at the team sheet recently and it's like, oh, Patterson's back on the bench. It's like, oh, Patterson's on the bench. That's a mad one, you know. And then like Grimes was injured when he against Luton and he wasn't in the squad. I was like, oh, Grimes is not playing. There's never like, oh God, he's got Cullen, Whittaker, and Perot on the field. He's trying something different. Let's see what this is. Oh, it looks like he might go to a back four today, and you know, maybe he's pushing someone else a bit forward. Maybe someone else is, you know, he's not trying anything different.
Yeah. Okay, quickly then. So I wanted to say, just flip the coin the other side, because we've been quite down on Martin, right? There is a little bit of credit I feel maybe we could give, right? So the Luton and the Middlesbrough game, just these two. Luton away, we lost 1-0, and the 1-0 goal was just because our goalkeeper dropped the ball for a tap-in, right? So take that away, we know what happened. I'm not going to go into Fisher. Take that away, and it's 0-0. That's a good point away at Luton. Had Fisher not made this mistake, they are literally like, what, are they 4th in the league now? Yeah, 4th in the league behind Middlesbrough, right? It's a tough little bit of a run of games here. We've got Luton, Middlesbrough, and Millwall next to a 6th, so they're in the playoffs too. I did not expect anything out of the Middlesbrough game. They are high flying at the moment, and we went ahead, and by all accounts, first half did look better from what we've seen in recent weeks. Maybe their heads dropped when they conceded. I know that's still a problem. But I have seen on Twitter some people saying the performance, they were not frustrated with it because it was against Middlesbrough, who were so high flying. So Millwall's going to be hard as well. Don't get me wrong; they're in 6th, but like if they can continue their better performance in some of the other games that are upcoming, we need to see a result out of it. But like I said, the Luton, you could argue, should have been a point there if they won for that stupid mistake. You know,
even with the 1-0, I think the Cullen goal might have been onside. It looks tight, but I think he was onside, and it was a good finish from him as well. It would have been good confidence for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would he have started the next game though?
Well, I don't know, but still, like I know the way you're saying. Like sometimes things go your way, you get a win or you get a point. You know, it would look different.
I just wanted to point out that they perhaps did improve a little bit. You know, they've gone away to Luton, and that's not an easy game. They're 4th in the league, and other than a stupid goalkeeper error, they would have come away with a 0-0. And you would say if that was a result coming away from that game, people probably would have been like, okay, that's better. Clean sheet for a start. When was the last time we had that? So I know it didn't happen, but the reason it didn't happen was a stupid mistake. So I was just trying to point that out, because I think we've been a little bit gone in on Martin a bit. So it's good to point out the stuff that, you know.
Yeah, and I do go in on him probably more than other people, but it's just like, and I don't want him at the moment. I don't want him to be sacked. I think you stick with it for now. We got a big summer ahead, but I think he's on very thin ice. I think. Because if he gets backed in the summer, and then it starts poor next season, I think that's it. Because I'm not seeing any improvement. I know, again, come back to the owners, whatever. We haven't got the backing, but I need to see someone on the pitch. I need to see a better performance. Otherwise, I can't defend him.
Okay, let's have a look at this list then, right, to finish off, because I think we've only got about 5 minutes left. So, going into the summer, we need a big rebuild. And I just thought it'd be interesting to try and pick some names out. Like, they don't have to be necessarily realistic. Maybe you could argue most of the players in the championship, we should be able to go and offer a contract and see what happens, right? A lot of them probably looking upwards. I understand that. They're not all going to come here. But let's have a bit of fun. The only one I'm going to say, let's disregard, is Ben Berrington Diaz. Yeah, we know he's not going to come. He's out of contract in the summer. One interesting one that immediately stands out is Ollie McBurney. Would you take him back?
Oh yeah, I'd have him back. Yeah,
same.
I'd have him back. I would take him back. Yeah, I think. Is that replacement of Perot though, or can we have both?
These are free transfers. We're not on about who's leaving today. We're just gonna.
I would definitely have him. Yeah.
Okay. Have we got anyone that you've had a look on the list that stands out for you?
Well, some of the big standouts, like you said, like Diaz is a big standout, but that's never going to happen. There's some good players in there, like you said, like Bradley Dack earlier.
Yeah, Bradley Dack's on there.
He is a bit injury prone, isn't he? But I think he's a good championship player.
That's fine. You can rotate with Liam Walsh. Like, one of them could be injured. Andrew Allen,
they can be
three
injured.
of them. Three of them could rotate. Because
one of them could be injured at a time. Yeah.
We got Jay De Silva from Bristol City. I think we need a left back. We're not going to have any when Ryan Manning leaves. We'd like a free transfer from Bristol. There's two options actually. There's him. Actually, there's a couple. They got Zach Viner, the centre back, but maybe we do need to bolster our defence. Who's the third one? We had a look earlier.
Carlas, was it?
Thomas Carlas. I think he was on you. Yeah.
I take
a lovely loading screen.
We could do with defensive bolsters anyway.
Thomas Carlas, yes, centre back there. He's another one that's an option. Quite a few from Sheffield. Koulibaly.
Yeah, they got loads out of contract there.
Centre midfielder. I don't think we really need to bolster centre midfield though. Perhaps a little bit of a waste. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, I think is it, to be fair, like we were saying about players you could try, you haven't seen Walsh play much since he's come back from injury.
Yeah, but that's the position you don't want.
No, I know, but if Walsh was to go, then that would be a good replacement. If you could get someone else in, because Allen's not going to play.
John Fleck.
Yeah, but good solid championship players though. That's probably what we are. Well, we're not in midfield, but we do need some more of good.
If they were a bit of pace, Ryan Nyambe, right back from Wigan. He was at Blackburn before. I would take him. I think he'd be a good option. He's only 25 as well.
Yeah, two good fullbacks we want. Two good fullbacks and just a good defender. Just someone solid at the back. You just need a bit of presence at the back at the moment, just to stop conceding goals. But
a bit of pace up front. I want.
Bit of pace up front. Definitely need a bit of pace up front. Like
as
good as Perot is, he hasn't got pace, has he?
No. Not at all.
But that's why him and Obafemi complement each other quite well, don't they? Because Obafemi had the pace.
Who's Obafemi? I don't know. Ben Woodburn. Now, would we take him?
Yeah.
How's he getting on at Preston?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'd definitely take him.
23. The one we were linked in January, Ashley Barnes. He's a free transfer in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if they were linked with him in January. Are they exploring that? I don't know. 33 though.
Yeah, I know. But again, someone to bring off the bench, a 33 who just knows how to score goals. You got Billy Sharp, I think, is out of contract as well, but I think he's probably even older. But again, knows. Yeah, but maybe not someone at 36, but just someone who knows where the back of the net is, like an Ashley Barnes. Yeah. You can bring on off the bench for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the end, and they'll get you a goal, even if it's off their ass and in. It's just like they
Got
know
another
where the
one.
net is.
Got another one for you. Kyle Bartley,
Oh God, yeah.
31 years old now. Would you
Probably
take
take
him?
him at the moment at the back. Yeah.
Connor Wickham. He went to Cardiff, though, didn't he? Nah, he's off. You can't have him.
Nah,
Can't have that.
he's crap. He's crap.
Nah, he's rubbish. There's a few left backs on you. Callum Elder from Hull. I don't know. He's probably not. Probably, I don't know. Backup maybe. We need a good first choice, like solid. If Manning's leaving to replace that hole.
Yeah. Well, I need someone that can play 46 games.
What about 32-year-old Sam Clucas?
Oh God, can you imagine?
There's absolutely no way in hell that's happening.
Imagine we linked to them.
Oh my God.
The American owners be like, "Oh, look at this Sam Clucas player scores against us a lot. Should we try and buy him?" Oh, they were there when we bought him.
Probably
Probably
spend another 10 million to bring him back.
actually.
How much did he cost the first time? 15?
Oh, God, yeah, it was like 16, wasn't it? 17.
I go further down the list now. Whether the values are falling of these players, they're all quite old or like not so much around the first teams of these clubs. There's a couple of goalkeepers on here. Ben Amos. Do we need in theory we don't need a goalkeeper, Bender and Fisher, but like people want Fisher not there. Are they actually going to get rid of him? I don't know.
I think it was okay when Bender was obviously not injured. I think like Bender and Fisher's probably right. Like Fisher to come in and play like cup games and stuff, or come in if there's a little injury. But like Bender was all right that time he came back. I think it was only he had a bad game against like Burnley at home, didn't he? We probably should have done better with goals. But I think like since he came back in the team, he was brilliant. So I think he'll be number one again next year.
Yeah. There's a left back, Luke Garbutt. He used to play for Everton, didn't he? He's at Blackpool now, and he's going to be free. And if they look like they're going down,
yeah, we desperately need fullbacks.
He's 29, and he's one that's like probably not out of the we could afford him easy. Do you know what I mean? Billy Sharp is on here, by the way, so that's another one. I mean, there's a lot of players on here. I don't know how many. It's Sondergaard, the keeper that we've got at the moment.
Yeah,
out of contract in the summer. For us, isn't he? But I don't know if he wasn't alone. We didn't get him on loan, did we?
No, it was free, wasn't it? He was out of contract when he was a free agent, so I think we just signed him in for cover till the end of the year. I'm surprised he didn't play, actually. I thought he might have been dropped after. I thought Fisher might have been dropped after.
But how good is this guy? He's only ever played under 21s.
Yeah, it was literally just to get someone in as cover, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've had a quick scout to the list. I'm going to have to shoot in a second, so we'll end it there. I wonder if we do. We'd like a free transfer. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody come in. Be interesting to see if we picked any names out there. That there's a lot of other ones on there. Don't get me wrong. I was trying to keep it a bit like focused, but
yeah,
there'll probably be one out of the blue that we're like, what the hell?
Okay, yeah, there's plenty of free transfers these days. Seems to be.
Yeah. Right, but any final thoughts before we finish then?
Oh, please, can we just have a win and a good performance? Just before the international break.
Yeah, let's hope. Millwall is tricky, isn't it? So
we normally play quite well away at Millwall.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs, don't they?
We've had a good record at Millwall in the last couple of years. So
we got Bristol City at home as well on the weekend, so that would be nice if we can win that one, especially.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to win at home.
Yeah,
be a good one.
Okay, on that note, thank you everyone, as always, for listening. If you got this far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button underneath Lee. And I guess we'll catch up with you next time. Hopefully, I say this every time, hopefully we'll be talking about something a little bit more positive and a win. But yeah, we will catch you again next time. Thank you very much.
See you soon.